Yo, 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 what up? Good morning and happy new year to everybody out there. Good morning and happy new year. Oh man, seems like it's been a long time since we last really got together. I know I popped on for a quick minute yesterday. That chick, yo, D-Rob was both in the building. Monique popped in too. But yeah, man, sometimes you don't always see the notifications from YouTube for whatever reason. I've heard a lot of creators, live streamers particularly, that say that when they take a couple days off or a week off sometimes, that the live stream notifications don't always go out. But I see the word is getting back out. A few more people have joined us today. But you know me, man. I don't really do this for the clicks and the views. At least not yet anyway. Right now, the whole mission is to build. It's to grow. It's to do the deep work. To build community. And sometimes the more people you have in a community, the more things you have to look out for. And the reason I feel this way is something we're going to talk about. We actually talked about it very briefly before the holiday break, which was called attachment styles. And we talked about there being 4 attachment styles. And I know some of you probably remember I had the video of the young lady. She was going through 4 different personalities. Although I'm not going to revisit that particular video, I am going to do a quick recap in a few minutes. But before I get into it, I got to know, what have y'all been up to? Especially if I hadn't already talked to you yesterday. What y'all been up to? What's been going on? How was your holidays? How was your New Year's? Did you have those great family outings or vacations or get-togethers? Did you stay at home and relax and chill out? Was everything peaceful? Or was there a little bit of drama? What was actually happening for you during your holiday season, during your New Year celebration? I know me and wifey, we brought it in the new crib. Yep, we brought the New Year's in the new crib. Don't have any furniture yet because all the furniture is still here. But we did get a couch. We got a couch delivered. So we was able to kind of get that situated, and we had, somewhere other than the cold, hard floor. But even if it was the cold, hard floor, it's our cold, hard floor. So that's progress. That's growth. One thing that's off of my vision board, off my vision wall over there. And there's a few more things that's jumping on there. And one thing I do know is that dreams and visions, they are very fluid. All right, so before we get into it too much, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. You should put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and you can see me well, because it has been a little while and I want to make sure that everything is going good. I feel like I'm being heard. It looks like I'm being heard and seen, but from you guys' perspective, that chick yo says getting there. Oh man, she said she celebrated sick in bed. I missed that one. It's a lot of that sickness going around, man. A lot of it. Yes, baby, that's right. Our cold hard floor. What up, D Rob? Howdy, partner. Out there in Texas. Oh man, well wishes to that chick, yo man. Get better soon. I don't know if chicken noodle soup is a thing that you do, but I like to have, some kind of warm soup, some kind of hot soup, because sometimes your body gets chilly. You gotta have that comfort. All right, so what's popping? Let's see. D Rob says pass the semester. Okay. Been doing that gym thing. Yes. Peaceful and fun. I love it. I love it. So yeah, so we started talking about the attachment theories. Oh, wait. Toronto Rican says I relaxed and had a peaceful one. Brought in the new year with the niche you hadn't seen in years. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You gotta get those. What it says, the full range of emotions. The sign of a healthy. I got you with Denise. The sign of a healthy person. So Chick-fil-A has an amazing tortilla soup. Man, I tell you, if Chick-fil-A ever had a brand ambassador, my wife is one of them. Oh yeah, she is definitely a brand ambassador for Chick-fil-A. Y'all need to send my wife some sponsorships or something. So yeah, talking about the attachment styles. I'm gonna do a quick recap. We talk about there's four of them. One being secure. And the secure one is the only one that is quote unquote what we all aspire to be, which is the reason for the title today. I am not the problem. You are. A lot of times when we go into relationships, there's one party or the other that don't really think they play a big role in the demise of the relationship. They'll say, well, I did everything you asked me to do and you still wasn't happy. Tequila on New Year's. Woo! That sounds like a good time. For a few minutes anyway. Yeah, boo. Tequila, yeah. They don't like each other. They fight when they get together. So I try to keep them apart as much as possible. But yeah, so when you in relationships, man, relationships are a mixed bag because people come from different spaces and they were raised in different ways. And most people, I'm not sure if you guys realize this, and I'm sure y'all pretty sharp, so I'm sure y'all do, that most of our adult problems come from two sources. Our childhood, Craig G, what up? Comes from our childhood experiences or our adult experiences. I know, y'all, but y'all pretty sharp. So I had to say it for some people that may not be, people that just might be passing through. As children, it's primarily our upbringing, or as we first stated months ago, that initial programming. How we related to our parents, how we related to our siblings. Those were the things that informed us as children. And it gave us one of those attachment styles. And the one we're talking about today is the secure one. But just for a short recap, the other ones is the anxious and the avoidant. But there's four categories of them. There's the anxious preoccupied, the dismissive avoidant, the fearful avoidant, and the secure. In most of the things you're going to see, no one is really going to talk about the fearful avoidant as much because it's a combination of the two. It's a combination of the anxious and the avoidant. And most people in that space, they flip-flop between all of them. Now, there are moments when we have all four, kind of like the love languages. There are moments when we exhibit or we move in all four. But there's one that holds fast to us. And I won't lie, I've been in spaces where I've exhibited all four of them at the same time. Well, maybe not at the same time, but in the same day. Because one person you get around, you might feel secure with. So that comes out. Another person, they might make you feel anxious. Then right around the corner, you bump into that person that makes you dismissive or avoidant. And then there's the fearful person. So today, actually, not even today, for the next week, man, we're going to really do a deeper dive into it, because this what we're talking about right now is the key to relationships. It is key to our own peace that we talk about. It is the definition. It is the thing that will help us regulate our emotions better, understand what boxes to put situations in. Success at work, success, just mental security. Because I think at the end of the day, we all look for peace. We all look for that space where we fit, where we're valued, where we give value, where what we have to offer is valued, when everything is copacetic, it's equal, it's even, and we're not fearful of anything. But we're happy, we're content with where we are. And, that's a space that people find here and there, but it's almost like what they call utopia. The perfect place, the perfect temperature. That peace of mind is the thing that I think we all strive for. The only problem with it, though, is when you are secure, or when you meet somebody who has a secure attachment style, they can seem quite boring. There's not a lot of toxicity. Matter of fact, before I dig too deep into that, let me go back. Let me boom. Let's break this down a little bit more visually. And is my volume up? It is.
Fourth one. Can you explain a little bit more about that one?
All right.
In your work, you describe 4 attachment styles. And so the first one is secure.
Secure, you are comfortable giving and receiving love. You trust that other people love you. You can bring up conflict very level-headedly.
You have an assumption that you are lovable and that you deserve to be loved.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of like you're on your own side, right?
Is there anybody on the planet like that? I just,
Right.
So the second one is anxious.
So your core fear is that everybody's abandoning you. You tend to see rejection even when it's not occurring. You just take everything personally. You need other people to soothe your emotions.
Let's talk about the third attachment style, avoidant.
So avoidant people, they fundamentally don't trust others. They think if I get close to you, you are going to harm me. So they don't get close to others.
And then you said there was a fourth one.
Yeah, so the fourth one, and that's Mel Robbins, man. I like to call her my cousin too, because she's a brilliant lady. She's it's Robinson, I think, Mel Robinson. And my mother's maiden name is Robinson, so I have Robinsons all in my bloodline. So I like to say that that's my cousin from a distance. But she writes a lot of great books, and she covers a lot of great topics as far as psychology goes. And the fourth one that they didn't talk about was the fearful avoiding one. And the reason most people leave that one out, as I already said, is that they swing back and forth from dismissive to anxious. And so the secure attachment style is one of peace. This is kind of my definition, is one of peace. You're capable of sending and receiving love. You're capable of expressing intimacy. You're comfortable with there being disagreements in a relationship. You're comfortable with not always having to feel validated or valued. You enjoy time alone just as much as you enjoy time with your partner. You have a healthy interdependence, meaning you're not glued to, you don't have to be glued to another person or always have to have something happening. You can ride in your car with no music. You can ride in your car without touching your cell phone. You can just enjoy being in your own space. And that's how your relationships mostly feel. That they feel peaceful. They feel zen-like. There's not a fire to put out every other moment. That stresses me out. If you are a friend that requires a lot of maintenance, I am probably not the friend that's gonna be that for you. I'm just not. If you require me to text you back as soon as you text me, we're probably gonna have problems in a relationship. Because sometimes I put my phone down and I might not look at my phone again for 2 hours because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm just so busy, but other times I'm just because my main attachment style, I told you guys, was the dismissive one, the avoidant one, because I had trust issues. Now, don't get me wrong, I still have some on occasion, depending on who I'm around, what I'm doing. But I'm not pressed to be in my phone 24/7. I'm not pressed to soothe everybody's emotions and feelings. I understand that there's going to be some discomfort in the relationships. Now, this is, I think, everybody can look at their life and say, well, I'm secure. I'm in a space where I'm at peace with this. I'm at peace with that. But the question is what happens when you're not? What happens when your core attachment style comes back? And where did it all come from? Where did it begin? This is a topic that's going to probably last us a little while because it also goes right into my space of parent development. Parent development. 'Cause I told you guys, I thought I was a sucky parent for many years. And depending on the week, I'm a sucky parent now, depending on who you ask. And I also have some personal things happening in my life right now too that's really making me question a lot of things. It's really making me revisit some stuff. I am in a space now where I'm watching a loved one really deteriorate before my eyes. And part of me, I want to be strong. And I want to say the right thing. I want to be the inspiration for the continued fight. But some days I feel my avoidant come back. And so in these moments, I am not as secure. Because there's situations that I really can't control. And it takes me back to when I was a child. And I think about how I was parented, how I was raised, the community that I was raised in, and the overall general relationships. And one question that I always ask a lot of the parents that come through my programs is, how do you develop a balanced child? How do you raise them to where they're balanced, where they're not anxious all the time, where they're not feeling rejected all the time, when they're not being dismissive or avoidant about everything, when they're not in fear all the time? Because no parent worth their salt will tell you that their child isn't happy. Their child doesn't have everything that they need. But yet we see chinks, we see cracks in their foundation. And we don't know exactly where it comes from. Well, don't be honest, guys. It comes from us. Because we are imperfect people, and I know I went a little deep there for a second. We are imperfect people expecting perfection, but we also know it's not realistic. We're expecting people to be secure even when we're not. So just for a few moments, I want to really dig into, because it's a space that I'm most passionate about. I want to talk about the 5 conditions necessary for raising a child with a secure attachment. Because most of us know I'm not the problem. You are. My child wouldn't do nothing like that because I didn't raise my child to do that. 1, does the child feel safe? Now, parents, I know you want to answer that question, but you really can't answer that question. And you can ask the child, and the child will say, yeah, I feel safe. But if that child is walking around on eggshells, if that child is walking around not being the child that you knew or know, then that child probably doesn't feel safe. Now, I'm talking about young children in this moment. I'm talking about children, between that, 5 to maybe 14 range. Past 15, 15 and up, they don't really care too much. They have their own little circle and friend groups, and they're doing their own thing. As toddlers, most times, they're just happy-go-lucky. They're just accepting everything as it comes. But once they get about 5 and 6, they start processing things just a little differently. They start seeing the world more along the lines of what's being presented, and not solely on their immediate caregivers. They start being influenced by other people, other kids at school, other teachers, and not just that, but they're playing outside more independently with neighbors. And so influences are coming in, and they're learning different things. So does a child feel safe? When a toddler feels safe, they smile a lot. They're happy a lot. They look and they're observing. Which is the second one, is when a child feels seen. This is the hardest one as a parent, though, because as a parent, you're raising a child, but technically you're kind of still a child yourself. You're trying to find yourself while you're raising somebody else to be them. It's kind of a mixed bag in a lot of aspects. But when a child feels seen, they are more confident, they're more outgoing. And this is why children tend to choose a favorite parent. They love both, but they feel seen by one parent more so than the other. Monique says, allow them to express themselves and encourage them to speak up even if it hurt. Teaching my 4-year-old and my husband. My 4-year-old how to speak up and my husband how to listen and be present. Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah. Teaching the 4-year-old to speak up and teaching the husband how to listen and be present. Yeah. Because sometimes as parent, it's our job to know. It's our job to protect. It's our job to have the answers. But children, because of the nature of the relationship, children don't always feel like they have a voice at a certain age. And then when they get that voice, oh boy, when they get that voice, they come out with both barrels blasting. Monique says, our 4-year-old has told me to turn my voice down if I am too loud to him. Great point, Monique. Great point. But that is also the parents that I see that have potentially gotten in trouble with, the court system, is that child, they would say their child got disrespectful. So they had to slap him, pop him right in the mouth, bust the lip, crack the tooth. What do you think that child feels? Not secure. Why did that parent feel disrespected? Not secure. There's no security in none of those situations that come across that way. Because the child can't really express what they want to say without the parent feeling some kind of way. That is a very tumultuous relationship to be in, to say the least. Because the parent holds the power. Now, I'm not saying let the child be all in your business. Let the child say whatever they want to say, when and how they want to say it, because there are some boundaries that you have to set. However, your child should be encouraged to say how they feel. And if mama's volume is too loud and is making my head hurt, then that child should be able to say, Mama, could you cut the volume down a little bit? Or time out, coach, time out. The child should be able to say something. And what happens is when that child can't say something, they grow up, and every time they feel away, they go back into this fear space, this avoidance space, or this dismissive space, or this anxious space. Oh man, I upset mama. I can't upset mama because I have to babysit mama's feelings, and I'm only 6. It's not a good place to put your child in. Not a good space. That child will never feel secure while they're with mama, because they have to be the parent. They have to be the adult. Yeah. So your 4-year-old cries if his feelings are hurt by you guys. So now y'all have him express how he feels. We have boundaries and explain why we made a certain decision. Yeah. Now, if you coming from the old school, if you're like an old school parent and you were parented by old school parents, there was a certain time when, the motto was children are to be seen and not heard. Stay in a child's place. And I get why the times were the way they were once upon a time. But that is also, there has to be an allowance made that times change. Community changes, society changes. Information is key now. You have to know how to social and emotionally regulate yourself. And if you don't learn those skills at home, if you can't have conversations in your house with your child about proper things both ways, now you understand why people go into adult relationships and they can't function, they can't maintain, they can't get along, because they never had voice. And so they're taking out on this potential partner what was given to them by their parent, their mother, their father. And so now you have somebody coming in there and they'll say, well, it's not you, it's me. And they'll really mean that. Not that they're at fault, but it's like, nah, you just can't handle me, so I need to go because I don't want to hurt you. So I'm not leaving because I don't want to be with you. I'm leaving because I don't want to hurt you. Because I see you might be a secure person and I'm toxic. So when somebody says they don't want to be in your life, shake their hand, pat them on the back, help them out the door. Don't try to keep them there if they don't want to be there. Because they're only going to do harm to you. You're only going to do harm to yourself. I understand you feel like, can you tell me why it's you and not, can you tell me what's going on? Because I thought we were in a good place. Well, I just don't really want to explain it. Okay, well, I get it. I can't make you explain it. It hurts. It sucks. I thought we were building something good. But I can't make you stay. So the door's open for a conversation, whenever you want to have one. But don't stay. Go do what you need to do, but don't stay gone too long. Because if you do, there may not be space for you. And if you don't, this is what you want, then cool. Because people do weird things. They're getting their feelings, and sometimes they just want attention. But when you're secure, you're not really moved by a lot of it. You try to figure out what it is, as much as they'll allow you to do it. But anyway, didn't mean to get back on relationships. Number 3, a child feels comfort, soothing, and reassurance. This is why children love being around the grandparents when they're younger. Because grandparents have figured it out. Grandparents have realized that, you know what, it really is not that serious. I made a lot of mistakes when I was raising my children. I gave them a good life. They had everything they needed. They had most of the things that they wanted. They lived a good life. But these little suckers, they still got beef with me. They still got problems with me. Oh, I still have some regrets. I wish I would have done some things differently. Because as children, you don't always remember everything that happened. Parents would like to forget some things that happened, some things that were said. I know. B said sometimes they be like, psych, I was just bluffing. But then it's too late and they find themselves divorced. Oh, man. Yeah. We play. If you look at somebody's relationship with a parent, and this is why we end up a lot of times with models of our parents in our relationships, because the mom is the first woman that you ever love, and the dad is the first man that you ever love in a traditional family. For a son, the first love is going to be the mom. For a daughter, the first love is going to be the dad. And so when one or the other goes out into the world, they generally, at some point in time, connect with somebody that has those dad qualities or has those mom qualities. But they're not. They have some other whole set of traits. And so the things that you love about them oftentimes become the things that you don't like about them. They remind you of your dad, and you remember why this thing your dad does that you just don't like, and he's doing it now. So do you stay or do you go? And all these questions you have to really ask yourself. But when you are secure, you don't make idle threats. You're open with your feelings. You feel valued. You feel seen. Which is the fourth thing that children need. They need to feel valued. They need to have voice, which is why I love what Monique said about, they encourage their son now, the 4-year-old, to express his feelings. Because when a person can express their feelings and be heard, they feel valued. Now, if you try to let a person express their feelings and they don't, especially a child, and they don't express their feelings, it's because they don't feel safe. Is they're afraid of the repercussions that come from talking to you. Ladies, sometimes y'all got this big burly dude and he don't talk worth nothing because he afraid to tell you what he feel. He's afraid to tell you that you're not perfect. Now, you know this, but he's afraid of the consequences and how long the fallout's going to be if he's actually honest with you. Fellas. Oh, yeah, she's quiet and agreeable. Mm-hmm. But you can't but feel like there's something missing, that you're not seeing something. Yeah, you're not seeing that you're a bully. And you're not giving her space to be herself. You're not making allowances for her to be vulnerable and honest with you about your shortcomings and things that she would like to help you increase, because most times you're already complaining about it. Or you're totally oblivious to it and it's a blind spot and she's trying to help you because she loves you. Relationships are tough. And they all stem from my childhood mostly. The child feels supported. The child feels the presence of help coming when they say or express an interest in a thing. These are all the, matter of fact, the child feels supported to explore. The child feels valued. The child feels comfort, soothing, and reassurance. The child feels seen and unseen, seen and known. The child feels safe. These 5 things are ingredients that will help your child develop a secure attachment style. And you might be shocked to know this, but scientists have said, or statistics show, that 66% of people have a form of a secure attachment style. A form of it. Maybe not completely, because there's no 100%. But most people, 66% of people, have a secure attachment style. Yep, but them other 40, other 40-something%, they struggling. They struggling bad. They're living in toxic relationships. They've always been in toxic relationships from the earliest days they can remember. There's been dysfunction. We used to have these conversations back when I was actually in school, and we were talking about, psychology and why the movie Trading Places has always been a topic of conversation. Y'all remember Trading Places, right? Eddie Murphy. Dang, I said it again. Eddie Murphy and, was it Dan Aykroyd? I think it was Dan Aykroyd. Anyway, Dan Aykroyd was a junior. He was being groomed to be for this bank. He had a company house, company car. They was really big in investments and stocks, and he was being groomed to work with these partners. Eddie Murphy was a bum on the street for all intents and purposes. He was hustling, he was scamming, and as people would walk by, they would see him on the corner, and of course they turn their nose up, and he's always scamming. He's always up to something. Why are these people, meaning black people, why can't they just pick themselves up by their bootstraps? And it came down to be, the exposure. Because they did an experiment. They bet $1. That one brother believed that if given the right circumstances, this black man could be just as successful, if not more, than the white guy. The other brother didn't believe it. So they made a wager and bet $1. Well, very funny movie. You hadn't seen it. I don't know where you've been all your life. Maybe it's too old for you. I don't know. It's worth a watch, though. Trading Places. And the conversation always comes up with, why do it seem like that black folk, white folk, Asian folk, why are the culture in the black community so toxic? That's not the question that's asked, but why black folk act like that is normally what I get. And so part of the conversation that I would normally have is, I said, okay, you take 2 families. You have, I'm not even gonna call it a race, but you take this culture and you take this culture. And one culture, they live in a suburban lifestyle, nice house. There's mother, father around. There's love in their atmosphere. There's a nanny. There's somebody that's always attentive to this child's need. You got these two babies, and there's somebody that's attentive to this child's need, getting everything that the child needs. They're getting all the love, hugs, kisses. They have access to good education, access to good food. and they have a lot of stability. Versus this family over here is a single parent household. I'm gonna say a single dad. There's a single dad. There's a baby. Something happened to the mom in childbirth, or the mom just mentally wasn't there. Whatever. It's a single dad. But the dad lives in a community where there's some gun violence. There's ambulances and there's sirens going off all times. The baby is staying with everybody they can stay with. Staying with the neighbor one day, with the mama the next, with his mom the next day, with the cousin the day after that. There is no stability. There's not a lot of security. One child is being fed fight or flight or freeze. He's living in those responses. The other child is at peace and is living a secure lifestyle. You can't tell me that the environment doesn't affect the outcome. You can't tell me that the indoctrination at such a young age does not impact the outcomes. This is why this young man, this baby that's growing up over here with all these these sirens, this child's gonna grow up and is not gonna feel secure. It's not gonna always make the best decisions. It's always gonna have some value issues. Where did my mom go? Why did my mom leave? Insecurities. Did my mom not want me? Insecurities. So now that child gets to a relationship, guess what? They're clingy. They're codependent. Or they're dismissive. They're avoidant. I don't trust people, so I don't want to be in relationships. Environment matters. Indoctrination matters. Culture, it matters. And the reason I'm focusing so much on the secure style and parenting right now is because this is where 95% of dysfunctional people come from. Parents who are not secure. Parents who are still trying to live their own life, trying to figure out how to get out of what they've got in, how to get to where they want to go. And they're parenting through insecurities. And they're creating this loop. That not only couldn't they get out of, but also their children are stuck and they're struggling in. But if we're asked, I'm not the problem. Maybe it's you, but it ain't me. I'm secure. I know what I'm doing. Most times we're deflecting. Most times we're insecure. I like to say with those attachment styles that the secure one, that means you're at peace with everything that's kind of happening. You allow for the bad days. You expect the good days. But you're at peace with whatever comes. Because you know life is not perfect. Monique said, and Monique, I appreciate your honesty, Monique. It you can tell a lot of times where a person is by their ability to be accountable, their ability to apologize. Because apologizing, you have to come from a place of vulnerable space. You have to admit that I did something that hurt you or that harmed you. You have to be accountable to the fact that you caused a thing and then apologize. And that is the biggest act of humility, especially when it's a child. Because a child doesn't have much agency. You have all the power as a parent. Monique says, I did the old school way for a while with our daughter. In middle school, it had to change. But by that point, I felt it was a little too late. So I have apologized a lot and owned everything. And that's really all you can do. We talk and we have vulnerable moments a lot, and definitely express how proud I am of her constantly. Yeah, my children called a family meeting. Well, my son did. I think it was my son and my son, my oldest daughter, my middle daughter, my oldest son. They called a family meeting where all the siblings got together with mom, pops, bonus mom, and they literally just pulled that can open out, and they opened this can of whoop it's on us, and they just unloaded the chamber. Boo, 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 boo. They just unloaded on me and their mom. It was hard to sit there and listen because I knew that I had made some mistakes early on. I told you guys this. I made a bunch of mistakes trying not to be my dad, but I still became my dad. And when I started realizing I was making mistakes, I started making changes. But the damage had already been done in certain regards. But I never heard it from their perspective. And so as they're unloading on me and their mom, I'm biting my tongue because I'm like, some things they just didn't understand. You didn't see the whole picture. You just saw this part. Yeah, you ducked and covered, boo. But she was there. She was invited to the fight. But it was a lot of feelings, a lot of things that they had never been allowed to get off of their chest. I never felt free to get off of their chest. Speaking of getting off chest, y'all, can I get some likes today? Can I get some likes today? My brother told me, he said, man, y'all, you need to tell people get their likes up a little bit more. So y'all ain't hit that like button, hit the like button for me. I know today is kind of a tough one, but look, it's a good one. It's a good one. They unloaded everything that they had been feeling and thinking for years. And it hurt. It was hard to hear. Because they were right in many ways. And the worst thing I could do was take what they were right about and then minimize it by saying, but y'all didn't understand. So I sat there. I took the gunfire. I let them get it off of their chest. Their mom did as well. And we were on a Zoom call because we all in different places. And we were on a Zoom call, but I would look over at her, and I can imagine her looking over at me. And the reason I know, because when you spend so much time together, we was together for almost 20 years. So when you spend enough time with a person, when you see them shake their head, you know how they react. And so I shook my head one time, and I saw her reaction as if we were in the room together. And I'm just like, okay, she's feeling me. And then I knew what she was going to do next. And she did it. Because it was our patterns, the habits that we fell into for so long. And we never addressed certain things, which is probably the reason why our relationship ended the way it did. It's because we never felt secure enough in the relationship. Oh, no, I'm good. I said my piece. Saying your piece all the time don't make you right. Matter of fact, it's harmful because the truth is hard to hear sometimes. And I'm not saying don't speak the truth, but what I'm saying is be okay with knowing the truth and not offending the other person because they can't take it. Sometimes getting it off our chest is to the detriment of the other person. If they're not a secure person, you cause more harm than good. Monique said her daughter did it in a group text. Hey, sometimes, you got to allow them to say it however they can, because face-to-face is hard. Face-to-face is super hard. And my children, dad was always a very dominant personality. And they knew the young me when I was a little less stable, when I didn't have as much emotional or social control, when I was ta-da-da-da. And so that lingers over. And so, nah, I ain't gonna say nothing to dad, man. I ain't gonna, And I regret it so much because I wish I had a better relationship. Now, don't get me wrong. It is much better than it's better than it's ever been. And I'm excited for it. But why did it have to take me so long? It's because I couldn't see my own fault. Well, I could, but I didn't want to address it. And then when I addressed it, I thought I was doing enough, but I was doing it by myself. I hadn't sought any therapy. I wasn't telling nobody what I was struggling with. I was just living with all this in my own head, trying to fix myself. I was the attorney that was trying to represent himself. And I think the old saying is, if you got an attorney that represents himself, he has a fool for a client. Because sometimes it's hard to see your own shortcomings. Because it makes us feel away. It makes us feel away. And nobody wants to feel like they're not enough. That's why most of us are in a situation we're in right now. It's because we won't face the facts. Some people should not be in relationships until they're healed. Because all you're doing is causing more trauma, more hurt. Some people should never be single. Oh, man. It's weird, man. It's weird. But the goal is to be in a secure attachment style. The goal is to be in a happy space where you feel valued and validated. So one more clip I want to show you before we actually get up out of here. Let's see.
People have in common.
Something that I think many happy, well-adjusted people do have in common is having what's called this secure attachment style. And generally what that's referring to is that they can trust that the people in their lives are safe. They can trust that the world around them is generally a safe place. Generally, happy and well-adjusted people aren't spending a lot of their waking moments afraid that people are out to get them or that things are never going to amount to the stuff that they want it to. That is a common feature for sure, is people feeling like the world is generally a safe place and that if I put my mind to something, I can get it done, and people aren't generally going to be trying to prevent me from being successful. You know, folks that have faith in other people. I think that's another thing that we're looking for or see and observe in people that are pretty well adjusted.
What do all happy, well-adjusted people have in common?
Something that I think many happy, well-adjusted people do have in common is having what's called this secure attachment style. And generally what that's referring to is that they can trust that the people in their lives are safe. They can trust that the world around them is generally a safe place. Generally, happy and well-adjusted people aren't spending a lot of their waking moments afraid that people are out to get them or that things are never going to amount to the stuff that they want it to. That is a common feature for sure, is people.
All right, I just wanted to run that back real quick just because the first part got a little cut off. But being happy and well-adjusted, it definitely has to come from a secure attachment style. And if you haven't, and we're going to talk about this probably more a little bit tomorrow, for those of us who didn't get that, that safe space as a child, you feel safe as a child, you feel seen, you feel comfort and you feel soothed and you feel reassured, you feel valued as a child. When you don't get those things as a child, you support it in the things that you do. If you get those, you tend to be a little bit more secure in life. You're happier in life. And the irony of it is sometimes some of us get that. But then we grow up and we go into relationships and now we trauma bond with people. We trauma bond with people, and that shakes up that foundation that we received as children. I just read D-Rob's chat message. Oh man, that's funny. You said, "Wild world we live in." Last night, he said, "Got a call last night from this heifer who broke my heart, talking about she made a mistake and want me back, bruh." Oh man. Yeah, man. But no, it's not a wild world. It's predictable. It's very predictable. You see, the grass, as the old folks say, the grass always look greener on the other side. It really do. It always looks like somebody else's relationship is better. This person has more going over here, or this group has better over here. And it always seems that way, especially in our community, meaning the black community. We see every other's culture and we see the unity and we see the togetherness. We see the good parts. But when we look at our community, there's so much distrust. You see, the reason the grass looks greener on the other side is because they might water it a little bit more. They're not spending as much time looking at other people's grass and they're paying more attention to their grass. Yeah, man. Talking about. Hold on, let me get my voice right. Man, she talking about she ain't understand where I was coming from back then when I was trying to tell her when I was trying to tell her with ass what she was doing. Not the answer. Now she depressed. Oh. B said, that's divorce, honey. She said, psych, I was just playing, dog. I really want to be with you, dog. I was just playing. Nah, but that's how it is, man. That's why the whole time we've been encouraging you, D, bro. You're a good brother. You're a decent brother. You trying to do the best. You reaching for goals. Some people, they get insecure when somebody is a stand-up person, when they true to their word, when they do what they say they gonna do, because they've never experienced a secure person. They are very anxious. They're very avoidant or dismissive. They're very fearful. And when they see somebody who's true to their word, they're terrified that you're gonna hold them accountable. Terrified. Now, they may not see it that way. They may not see it that way. But they know they gotta be right. And guess what? What if I mess this up too? So what they gonna do? They gonna mess it up too. Yep. They self-sabotage instead of just, letting it just happen if it's gonna happen. All signs of insecure people. And we all have those traits. We all have those attributes. They say if you give a person $1 million, you'll find out who that person really is. Because money is a truth serum. You're going to be more of what you are. If you're a poor manager of money, you're going to manage it poor and you're going to be broke again. Because your mentality never grew. Your mentality was a broke mentality. So you're going to find a way to get back to yourself. If you're a butthole, you're going to be just more of a butthole with money. That's it. Yep, self-sabotage. You will sabotage yourself or you will succeed based on your attachment style, based on your thoughts of yourself, based on your world view. This is why personal development is so important. Because people who don't know what they want, they cause a lot of havoc, cause a lot of confusion. And if you are just so happen to be associated with a person that is unstable, they're going to cause you a lot of heartache. But the odds on finding somebody that's secure, especially younger, it's tough. Sometimes you got to let life happen and people have to grow and people have to develop. which is also why I talk to a lot of guys, and I'm like, bruh, I wouldn't even be looking at, because I did the marriage thing early, and I made so many mistakes because I wasn't even a man yet for real, but I was a father, I was a husband, and I'm trying to be a good husband. I'm trying to be a good father. I'm trying to figure out who the heck I am and have some success in my life so I can provide at a high level, so I can protect. And I had all these competing thoughts and ideas, but I'm struggling. And in my struggle, I made a mess of things. So I talk to guys now, I'm like, bro, if you ain't at least 30, I wouldn't even look at getting married for real. If you're not at least 30, I wouldn't even think about having no kid for real. You need them years from 20 to 30 just to find out who you are and get on a career path. You need that time just to go out there and fail, make mistakes. Because it's hard to fail and make mistakes when you got a family at 24. Because it's not just you anymore. Your family can't go sleep on your homeboy couch. You can. So guys, you should not be out there creating families before you're 30 because you don't even know who you are. Ladies, y'all do mature faster than we do. And I'm not saying you need to be out there messing with old dudes. That's not what I'm saying. But you can't be out there with a young dude expecting this guy to be the finished product when he ain't even started, he barely been in the oven yet. Which means you need to control what you can control. I'm not saying don't date, don't have a good time, but there's so many forms of birth control. You don't have to be pregnant unless you just want to be pregnant. Because you have to carry that child. And if you're not ready, if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're trying to do with your life yet, you don't know if you want marriage children are victims of parents in a lot of cases. And this is not me telling you how to live your life. It's me saying, be responsible for your life. Be responsible for the children that you raise. Especially if you come from a place of insecurity. Don't bring your child into that exact same place. Because I have so many people that's come to my office and they'll say, but I mean, my parent was this and their parent did that. I mean, but I turned out all right. But did you? Yeah, you survived. You're here. But are you okay? And I used to say that just in my mind, I used to be like, And I slipped up and I said it one time. There you go. That's what you say. I'm good being an auntie. Yes. It's okay not to have your own until you're ready. If you feel like you need to have a kid with somebody to keep them, because guys shoot the club up on purpose sometimes, ladies. And guys, sometimes she lets you on purpose. Because I don't want to let this person go. This is the most special person I've ever met or ever been with, and I want them to be part of my life forever. Until you can't get rid of them, then you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Oh, man. B said, ladies got to be especially careful thanks to the Supreme Court being in our freaking business. Yeah. But life, man, I love the work that I do, especially in the parenting space. And not because I'm the shining beacon of hope. Well, maybe I am that of hope, but I've made so many mistakes. I've got it wrong so many times. Yeah, hey man, I've experienced that Venus flytrap, dog. I'm about to, oh, come on. No, wait. Boy, look, I didn't know legs was just as strong as arms. I'm trying to push up, somebody clamping down. I was like, oh, wait a minute, get off me. But anyway, life truly is what you make it. to El Boa, bruh. Now I'm gonna be locked up, got a record and a baby. Now we trauma bonding for real. Woo, buddy. But that's life though, right? There is no such thing as perfection. There's goals, there's reality, and the rest is the journey. The rest is the journey. And figuring the journey out is what we're doing. Pineapples, man. Oh, man. Life is crazy, though. Life is crazy. No, life is amazing. It truly is. There's so much in this world to see. There's so many things to do. And we also have this biological need to procreate. And I guess if I had to say a message today, if I had to give a summary of today, I would say your life is truly yours for the making, but you have to be super intentional about the life that you make. Super intentional. People, when you give them access, and it's okay to give people access to you, just watch what they do with that access. If all they're bringing is confusion and drama, they could be great people, but they're not on the same path and they're not supposed to be in the same space with you at this time. Maybe they'll mature and grow up later, but as they say, the tiger never really changes its stripes. At least not in the short term. If she didn't get it 4, 5, 6 months ago, D, she probably ain't got it now either, bro. It's just she probably just now realizing the mistake. And that's what happens a lot. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will say this before I get as I get ready to get up out of here. You can have what you want in life once you understand what's stopping you from having success. And 9 times out of 10, it is probably those 4 attachment styles. The secure. You probably already have success when you secure. But it's that anxious preoccupied, the dismissive avoidant, and that fearful avoidant. And so today we started with the secure style because most of us think we are secure. And in some ways, we are. But overall, we still have things that we're struggling with. We don't want to admit. We turn a blind eye sometimes because we want it to appear to be something more or less than what it really is. So, welcome to 2024. Welcome to Morning Motivation. Shout out to that chick, yo, Toronto Riggers D, Rob Mo, Neat K, Craig G, Brick by Brick. Positive self-talk, health talk, Randy. Gary with the E.R.D. Price. And so many others who watch the videos, man. You guys are special. You guys are amazing. Glad to go into a new year with you. Craig G, my guy. Oh, man, we got a lot of life left to live, my guy. So be safe out there. My sister Kay, thank you for all the wise words and the wisdom that you give. So appreciative. Bobby, baby, you already know. You already know. Says that Kobe year, right? Oh, man. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. A little bit of a struggle for me today, just finding my groove, but I feel like we're going to be all right. A lot of stuff happening. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable. Allowing me to be myself. And also Sharon, Means a lot. But yeah, so we are starting with the attachment styles, and today we kicked it off with the secure one, and I had to go back to childhood because that's where most of our insecurities began. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna go a little bit further into these attachment styles, and we're gonna talk about how to become secure as an adult, even though you've been through all the insecurities as a child or some of the trauma bonding. We're gonna talk about it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, talk about it, and we're gonna see you tomorrow. So you guys have a great day. What time is it? Oh yeah. Woo. I see my time ain't got no shorter. But no, seriously, you guys have a great day no matter what. The world is yours. This life is yours for the taking. So go ahead and take it. Be blessed. Talk soon.